What is going on out there, world? It's your boy Tommy on the spot for Watchalong Wrestling. Oh my god. Holy shit, that came out like crazy. Oh my god. You even moved back in case it like came through the phone line at you. You're like, whoa. Whoa. Oh my lord. I don't know what happened. I was ready to go.
Need to keep it. This is still going to be the intro.
So what is going on out there, world? It's your boy Tommy on the spot for Watchalong Wrestling. It is great to be back here with all of you, and this is a very historic edition of this particular I'm Going To series here on Watchalong Wrestling, because even though the title of the video says I'm going to Smackdown in Orlando, Florida, I won't personally be going, but my main man Steve down in Orlando, Florida is going to Smackdown. Steve, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I am very excited. This is going to be my first live wrestling event in over 15 years.
A live WWE event.
Or any wrestling event.
Well, no, because we went to NXT.
Oh, I'm sorry. Right. Yeah.
Other than NXT, though.
Yeah. So, yeah, the two NXT shows that we went to a few years ago.
Oh, you did go to two?
Yeah. That whole anything pre-COVID is just a blur at this point.
I completely agree. Like, if you watch any of that footage, too, it feels like almost prehistoric at this stage. Yeah. And it's only years ago. But it feels like before COVID is such a strange time. It really changed everything. But, yes, very exciting that you're going to SmackDown. So why don't you give us a little bit of backstory about what led to this show and what led to you guys deciding to take the plunge and go to this is your wife's first ever wrestling show, right?
Yeah, and that's kind of what led us into it, where slowly but surely, ever since I got back into wrestling about a year ago at this point, I think it was like right after SummerSlam that I really started to pick up WWE again. Ever since then, it was kind of a slow introduction where, I would just have it on playing, and while she was there, we were sitting on the couch in the living room watching it or something. And little by little, she started to get more and more interested in it. And now, like, she's obsessed with it. She's even gotten some of her friends obsessed with it, where we watch and talk about it and all that stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah, and so, of course, then we heard that SmackDown was making its way down to Orlando. And it is the day before we leave on a cruise. So we figured we would jump on that opportunity. And now we're going. And we're very, very excited.
That is awesome. And so you guys, what time is the cruise the next day?
We actually don't have to we don't like check in for the reservation until around noon or so.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, and it's in Tampa, so it's really only like a 2-hour drive-ish, hour and a half-ish, depending on traffic and whatnot. So it's not like we have to be up like super early, crack of dawn kind of thing. But but it's just kind of good timing that we were able to actually make it, and it's not like next week or something.
And if this is at the Amway Center?
It is.
Still Amway Center?
Yep, still the Amway Center. And we've become familiar with the Amway Center over the years as well. So it's not our first time there, but it's our first time there in this kind of capacity, watching a huge event like this.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's pretty, it is. It's going to be a very big show. Roman Reigns is going to be on that show, which I'm happy and excited for you guys, because he seems to be, you never know when he's actually going to be on the show. But actually, I think it's worked out to your guys' favor that this particular SmackDown is going to be on FS1, because whenever they have a show on FS1, they load it up because they want people to really want to go and see that show so that they get the viewership on FS1, because typically they're going to have much less viewership for FS1 than they do on Fox. So they try to make the show like as loaded as they possibly could.
Yeah, so I knew it was going to be on FS1 because of the World Cup and everything now, but I didn't know that they loaded up like that, so that's good to know. But it's funny because I haven't seen too many different things promoted for it. It's the Roman Reigns Jey Uso segment. It's the Fatal 4-Way, and that's all I've really seen.
Yeah, I mean, I think for them, loading it up is basically Reigns on the show.
Okay, fair enough.
They had, when he came from Madison Square Garden, 45 minutes of that show was that Roman Reigns Bloodline segment, and then they came back and ended things with the Bloodline segment. So when he's on the show, I feel like it's so much, and so many big parts of it. Now, one of the things I did think about though, you also, that 4-way is going to be, it's Rey Mysterio, LA Knight. Is it
LA Knight?
Yeah, you're gonna get to see Roman Reigns and LA Knight live.
Yeah, I mean, what more do we need?
I mean, that's pretty great right there. One of my big regrets, and I'll be back with it. I'm going to a video here in about a week or so, so we can't give that spoiler ways to where my next wrestling show will be. But when I was going to go to Madison Square Garden, one of the big things for me was would just be awesome to be there for this Bloodline segment, to be there live for it. But tickets were just astronomical. But you guys were smart. You got your tickets a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah, we got our tickets. We were kind of back and forth, and it was one of those things where it's like we kept talking about it, but we weren't able to like absolutely confirm it and pin it down until a couple of weeks ago. But ever since we got our tickets, it seems like the prices have gone up quite a bit. So I'm glad that we got them when we did.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what happened at Madison Square. I am the biggest slacker when it comes to these types of events. I've missed so many just due to me being unnecessarily arrogant about, oh yeah, now I'll just get tickets. Yeah, if we decide to go, I'll get them day of. They'll be on StubHub, they'll be on SeatGeek. And it's worked out sometimes, but for the most part, it never works out. And there was nothing released from Madison Square Garden additional. It was like this to get in the door and sit where you could at least see, because I do think such a big part of it is being able to see the entrance. Mm-hmm. I don't personally, if I'm going to the show myself, I don't really care because I've gone to a bunch of shows. And so if I'm behind the stage, but if I'm going to bring my daughter, her big thing is she wants to see Bianca come out and do her entrance. She wants to be able to see Roman come out and do his big pose with the one. And so Seth Rollins was on in a dark match after Madison Square Garden. So I was thinking, it would have been really cool to have her experience that, and to be behind the stage and she couldn't see it. It would have just been really tough. But you guys have no blocked seating, right, as well?
Yeah, no, it was funny because one of the first seats that I'd selected were obstructed view, but I didn't realize that the counter had timed out on me when I was going in to do all the payment information and everything like that. So then when I went back, I picked the same seats again, and all of a sudden they said obstructed view, and I was like, oh no, don't want to do that for my wife's first ever wrestling show. So we did like a couple of sections over were like front row mezzanine.
Oh, that's pretty great.
Yeah. So, and I mean, price was pretty good, so jumped on that, and hopefully they're good seats.
That is awesome. No, that's very cool. I'm happy for you guys. I hope you guys have a great time. Do you have any plans that day? I guess you'll probably be packing for the trip.
Yeah, so we're in laundry. No, we're also going to. So the thing is that because, like where the Amway Center is kind of situated, there are a few restaurants and stuff in the area that we could go to. But my thinking is because most of the time when we go to an event at Amway, it's not like a super huge event where there's thousands and thousands of people. So we have no problems getting just walking into a restaurant. I feel like it's going to be a little bit different here on Friday. So we were thinking maybe find some way halfway between our house and the Amway Center. So maybe going to Disney Springs or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be a great day for sure. I will say that when I went to WrestleMania in Orlando, they had everyone in that little complex beforehand because you had to go and get your buses because they wanted everyone to go there as opposed to the stadium. And then they offered complimentary shuttle buses to get everyone over. I don't know why they were doing that. It was very nice, but they did that because they didn't want everyone to go drive to WrestleMania itself in the venue that was hosting WrestleMania.
Because was it Camping World Stadium?
Yeah, Camping World Stadium.
Probably for a couple of reasons. Number one, because the logistics of parking in that area isn't the best, and getting out of it isn't the best, and also probably where they had you parking in between there and the stadium is not the best neighborhood.
No, it isn't, because I know we were on those buses heading there. It was, I think Eric even made a joke and said, I know you would have tried to save on parking and had us park on the street, and I would have been running through this area. I was like, but I will say that one, it was fun to be in that area because you had wrestling fans everywhere and people are just dying to be. It's a big wrestling party beforehand.
Yeah.
But it was also a little tough to find a space to go eat. I think we ended up somewhere that probably wasn't the most popular of all the restaurants because a lot of other people. It was cool too because everyone had like all the restaurants were pretty much open, so you had outdoor seating everywhere, and people were getting ready for it. But that'll be cool. I'm excited for you guys and excited to hear about this. Hopefully, we'll be able. I don't know when, but hopefully, we'll be able to get you on to talk about it. Maybe if you guys do have time in the parking lot, certainly we can try to jump on. I'll try to make sure I'm home for it and trying to watch SmackDown live, or maybe even if it is early the next morning to hear about your.
On the way out to the port, maybe.
Oh yeah, because you guys are going to be because the port is you said it's in Tampa, right?
Yeah.
And how long are you guys going on the cruise for?
It is a 7-day cruise or 7-night cruise.
And then you go into you're going somewhere after that too, right?
No, after the cruise, it's going to be basically a couple of days of resting, and then we're going to be back at school.
Oh, interesting. I thought you guys were going to Indiana for some reason.
We had talked about doing that beforehand. That would have been the past weekend, but it didn't work out.
Gotcha. Well, have a great time. That's a lot of fun. You guys are going to go there, and hopefully, at some point we'll have you back here to talk about your experience, even if it's after your cruise. Just talk about how everything went. And do you have? Are you guys going to be getting any sort of commemorative merch when you go there?
I know my wife wants to at least get a T-shirt.
That'd be for first show. That'd be cool.
Yeah, we want to. She kind of looked online, but I was like, you don't know what sizes. Maybe they're going to have something unique there at this, at the event and stuff like that. I'm gonna try and dust off my my Hardy Boys shirt that you'd gotten me.
Yeah.
So I know where it is. I just need to get that, or maybe see if I can find my old Road Dogg shirt that's probably in the garage.
The Hardy one is the one that I gave you for the wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a really good one. You can probably get a lot of people to be into that one as well. So that's really cool. And yeah, I think you should see what's at the stadium because a lot of times now what they've done is in the arenas they'll do something specific for the town that they're in. So when they did when I went to Raw earlier this year, it was like they had a commemorative Yankees belt that was like $750. Obviously, I wasn't going to be buying it, but it was cool at least to see that they try to do this in every town they're in. So maybe they'll have something that'll say like WWE Orlando or something like that.
That would be interesting. Maybe something magical.
That would be very cool. Like it would be like the WWE Smackdown logo with the hidden Mickey ears.
That would be. I feel like we're really kind of approaching the line of copyright infringement, but
that's true. You'd have to. Well, they make deals with. So like it'll probably be something magical. You're right. They probably do because the Magic still play at the Amway Center.
Yeah.
So maybe do something with that. And isn't there like a minor league hockey team that plays there too?
Yeah, the Solar Bears. So that would be. I mean, that would maybe a little Solar Bear WWE action. That would be cool.
That would be very cool. And I bet the Solar Bears would let them do that. You probably wouldn't need to pay for too much there. You give them a cut. Yeah. They'd be thrilled, I'm sure. So that's very cool. Well, have a great time. We hope that you get a chance to. You're going to be chanting LA Night. Will you be holding up your one with Roman Reigns?
I know my wife will, so I might have to do it in solidarity.
You might have to. If James throws up his one with the Bloodline at Raw 30, I think you've got to throw the one up there as well and acknowledge that this is your chance to acknowledge the tribal chief in person and see what it's all about with that entrance. Because I will say that a lot of us, like I hated the Seth Rollins chanting. I thought it was the most annoying thing in the world. I didn't get the hype behind it. Going there live though, it's a way different deal, as you know. And so I've loved the Seth Rollins entrance ever since I saw it live. I've totally changed my entire thought on the character and everything. And I feel the same thing with Roman. Like when he comes out, it really is like it's a little bit of like an out of body experience. It's a pretty awesome thing to see everyone kind of get up and legitimately acknowledge the tribal chief. Yeah,
it's funny because every so often when he comes out, you get the chorus of boos and all that kind of thing. But then when he starts on the mic, all of a sudden he's got the audience in his pocket. So it's like,
oh yeah, well, I think he did. I think he did do, I don't know if it was this year or last year, but I know at one of the Manias I was at, he did do WrestleMania Acknowledge Me. And it was one of these situations where everybody stopped booing to just kind of go nuts. And when he won, I know when he won this year, I thought I was going to look around and see a bunch of heartbroken wrestling fans devastated that Cody didn't win. And it was kind of the opposite. There's a lot of people who were like, oh, he kept the belt. He's still champ. I can't believe it. And people were really into that, which was interesting.
Yeah, no Steve Johnson in Royal Rumble 2008, where John Cena comes out as number 30 and he immediately sits down with his arms folded.
No, I don't want to talk about it. You down there, stop it. I do not want to. No, it's not cool. No, why are you cheering?
Yeah.
I mean, it was, no, a lot. I thought we were going to get a lot of that. Like, this guy again. But instead it was like, I think people were like, because it felt like such a big, obvious Cody's going to get his crowning moment. And then he didn't. It was almost like, oh my God, they're still going with Roman Reigns. Like, you think this is going to end. And here we go for another 3-4 months.
Yeah, sometimes you have to respect the subversion of expectations and go, all right, well done.
Yeah. And now it's got to a point with every one of his appearances. They do mean so much. They're so few and far between. That, you getting him on, and it, Raw this past week, yesterday in Atlanta, as we're filming this, it's Tuesday, yesterday in Atlanta, huge sold out stadium, sold out arena. Friday, you guys sold out in Orlando. So it's cool. The idea of going to a sold out show with everyone just so excited about wrestling is certainly a far cry from like when we went to, the Bash in 2005 or so, or 2007. And it was like, you felt like, yeah, you're going because it's live, but you could tell it's like the popularity is just kind of dwindling here. We're holding on.
To be fair, that was also a very bad show.
It was a horrible show. It was. But at the same time, going with everyone there and excited about it, it's going to be fun. I'm excited for you, and I'm excited to hear about the experience. And I hope it's a great show.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Well, until next time, hopefully you'll join us to talk about your experience. And until next time, everybody, thanks for joining us on Watchalong Wrestling. We'll see you guys in the next video.